Good morning, y'all. Oh my God. So it's before 11. It's like a little after 10:30. I'm about to hop in the shower and do my hair because and I separate it into two sections and wash it or shampoo it, and then I'll divide that section into two to condition. But it's gonna be a semi busy day. I'm about to wash my hair and do it, and then I have to run to Walmart to pick up some products for a campaign slash blog post that I have to do. Oh, I have three hair clips. I thought I only had two. I'm gonna go there and pick up that. But then, literally, as I opened my eyes to check my email, I had finished checking them. Renting a car for next week because I'll be in another U.S. city, so it's helpful when you're traveling domestically to go ahead and rent a car. And I wasn't gonna originally do that, but I invited one of my friends, so and she mentioned it, renting a car, and I was like, no, just gonna Uber everywhere, but gonna rent now since she's gonna be there most likely, and even if she cancels, I'll still rent a car because it's just gonna be convenient and I can like drive around to different cities that I want to visit. Put some of this oil in it. So yeah, I was like getting the rental together because I'll rent a car and then I'll put the information into this website that tracks whether or not they find a cheaper price. And when I moved from New York to DC, this same website was able to find. I went from like $100 and something, like 140 to like 120, then 80, and then my entire rental price was $20 once I came from New York to DC. And that was picking up in one location, dropping off in another location, which is usually like $100 more expensive, if not more. But it was $20, and I moved from a city to a city. So that was very convenient. So I swear by this website. What else? I keep like straying. So check that, got that together, and then I happen to go back to my email just because I like a zero balance. Like I wanted to clear it. And I get this email that I was approved for another campaign that I applied for. First of all, they were already supposed to choose people for this campaign, which I'm sure they did, but maybe, either they got a late start after the holidays or they didn't have enough people. So I got approved for it, and it's a good amount of money. And I've been wondering like where my next campaign was gonna come from. And I applied for this when I was back in Colombia, and I'm thinking, oh, they just don't want me. Like literally 2 days ago, I looked at it and I'm like, oh, well, they just, they went with someone else, which is fine. But it was nice to see that I got approved for that. Like it's a good amount of money, but that just it's gonna make everything a little more hectic because it's due and I'll be out of town. I'm taking 2 trips next week. So one, I'm just going somewhere quick with my mom. You will see when I get there. And then the second one, I'll be away for 4 days. But yesterday, how should I do this? Yesterday, I happened to check my January horoscope. Like I do read daily. I get emails for that. But then I'll do monthly astrology type things through YouTube. People used to do bi-weekly. If they still do that, if it comes up in my YouTube feed, then I'll watch them for my favorite people. But there's this one site that I like swear by her monthly horoscopes. Like she's always on point. And I read my sun sign, which is, normal zodiac, like the month you were born / day. And then I'll also check my moon and rising sign because that's a big factor into like your personality and things that are gonna happen. My moon and rising happen to be the same sign, Leo. I'm a Libra sun and a Leo moon and rising. So I just killed two birds with one stone because if I had two different moon and risings, I doubt I would check them. But since it's the same, I'm like, well, that's clearly a big part of me, so let me check it. And it was either Leo or the Libra reading, but I'm pretty sure it was a Leo where it was like, you're gonna be exhausted in January. No, I didn't read it until, what's today, the 9th? I didn't read it until like the 8th, which sucks because I've been wondering why I've been like wanting to sleep in so bad, and I've just been tired for kind of no reason. Like I don't know why. I've just wanted to stay in bed until the very last minute and then get up. And it's not like anything's wrong with me. I have never been happier than after I left my job and like began this life that I always wanted to live. So I haven't been happier or as happy as now at this point in my life. But it all made sense after I read that. And if you just like listen to your body, which these last few months I have learned to do. Like I listen to my body, I know what it wants, and I can give it what it wants. Like I don't fight it. I'm not like, well, let me get up, I gotta do this, this, and this, or let me just try to fake productive, because it's not like I'm not being productive or anything. There's sometimes nothing for me to do or nothing that requires me to get out of bed at like 7 a.m. So I give my body what it wants, and I'll just lay there, and then I'll get up, and it's not like I'm napping throughout the middle of the day. I don't go back to bed until like the middle of the night, which that part I don't like. But another thing that it mentioned, this is enough oil. This is just like a pre-shampoo treatment. It's not even necessary, but the bottle recommends it, so I'm trying it out. But another thing that it said, it was like mid-month, you know, you're going to be very busy, so stay super organized, because there's more money coming your way, but more money in the form of creative endeavors or projects where you need to pay attention to what you're doing. Like, don't make stupid little mistakes and just stay on your A game. Like, you need to research to do better. Like, if you were half-assing it before, you need to be on the ball at this point. And after this email today, like, I honestly feel like that is happening and will happen. I know a lot of people, I used to date someone who wasn't like into astrology or afraid to even check a horoscope, because they were like, oh, well, that's gonna like ruin my day. I'm gonna be thinking about that. I read this stuff and then I'll forget it. Or read it at the end of the day where you could say, oh, my day did go like that. Like, it's not that serious. If you don't believe in it, then you don't believe in it. But don't act like it's this like it's voodoo, which voodoo is also something that isn't negative, but people like to pretend it is and think that it's some form of devil worship. I'm like rambling at this point. All right, I'm gonna hop in the shower and wash my hair. Hey guys, so I am all ready. Finally got my weekly hairdo going on. I'm going somewhere tomorrow, and I actually will want to take this out, but oh look, but it's too soon. Oh, I need to put on earrings. So, maybe I'll take these out Monday. But so I'm about to head to Walmart. Strangely enough, this is my second campaign this month where Walmart is the brand that I have to shop with. But find somewhere to prop you guys. But right now, and this is through a different platform. So right now I have to go pick up some makeup products by Neutrogena. And on my way back, I actually should stop past like a liquor store or something for my second set of products for this blog post that I need to do like ASAP. They didn't give me a date for when the draft is due, but I can do it ASAP. And this is actually like a Bacardi Wendy's collaboration, so I need to stop past a liquor store. Not really out of the norm. I've worked with Absolute Vodka before. I thought I worked with a different alcohol brand, but maybe that was the only other one. Lights off. So yeah, I'll see you guys when I get to Walmart probably. Alright, so this campaign is specifically for the Neutrogena Hydro Boost. I don't necessarily want any oh, this is the Healthy Skin. I need hydrating tint, but I don't necessarily want that, so I may just buy it for the picture. But I do want their there's this lip treatment they have. Hopefully I find it. Alright guys, I got the products. Now I'm going to the liquor store to see if they have this Bacardi with Grey Goose. Hola guys, so I am back home. I got my little camera, getting this together, switching my lenses. I'm about to like look around my house for little things. I'm looking at this plant right now, and I can use that for my other campaign that I have to do. And I'll probably do that tomorrow, but I bought the alcohol. Bought Bacardi instead of Grey Goose. Grey Goose was an option, which I didn't really realize. I didn't realize they were under the same brand.
And I was like, well, I'll just get the Grey Goose, but the Bacardi was like 10 bucks cheaper. So saving all my coins. So I got my camera set up. I have the makeup right here. Need to unpackage it. This color is so pretty. So yeah, I'm gonna look for things that I can like accessorize and glamorize the photo with. I'll be shooting with my 50mm lens. It's really little, but the shots are always like up close, crisp, and clear. And I've said it on my Instagram, but Noni, my friend Noni, nonisworld.com, she's the reason that I invested in a 50mm lens, and it's just like a game changer. It's a lifesaver, game changer, all that. So I think I know what I'm gonna shoot this makeup on. As far as the alcohol products, I can figure that out tomorrow, even though I'll pretty much have an idea of what I'm gonna do today. So let me get some makeup shots, and hopefully there's enough light out there. I'm about to like crack open this window, like blinds up, everything. My mom hates when I do that, but yeah. If you've ever noticed the fridge back here, all that crap on it, when I go traveling, nobody really wants anything, and I'm such a light packer that I don't buy people things, but I get my mom magnets because that's what she wants. So pretty much, I would say like there are probably like 5 places that I went and I didn't get her a magnet, but for the most part, everywhere I've been is on that fridge. And then my stepdad, I get him bottle openers, and usually there'll be like a magnet / bottle opener, or they'll at least say the country that I'm in. And my sister usually wants shot glasses, but at one point she was like, I have too many, and she didn't want any more. So every now and then I'll buy her more, but for the most part, no, I won't. And I'll get her like a cute bracelet or something. And my niece, I usually get her bracelets that say like the place on it, but I've kind of slowed down with that because who knows what she does with them. I doubt she has them all. We'll see. But yeah, so let me start shooting these pictures before I lose too much light, because it's like 2 something and the sun goes down at like 4:30. And then I'll check back in with you guys. I forgot, the reason that I picked up the camera initially, I'm iffy about this lipstick. Now this is the Taraji P. Henson for MAC, her first collaboration with MAC. This is the Strip Me Down. And maybe I used liner with it before. Liner, I'm sure it will look great. But I also have a nude in Urban Decay. I bought like this nude kit from Sephora, and it had a bunch of nudes, usually pinky pastels, and then it had this nude as in black person nude. And I think I like that better. Maybe I'll wear it tomorrow to show you guys. Usually I like to wear my red or my burgundy. I'm wearing those out. They're finally almost gone. Don't know if I'm going to buy any more makeup because I'm just not into it, except I like a lipstick. But yeah, I should really wear a brown liner with this. I also don't have a brown liner. I have like a, it's not a purplish, but it's definitely not brown, like the dark brown that you would think that I would need. So let me go put some of that on. Okay, in the bathroom. Now, here's a color that I picked up from Sephora. I had this gift card to use. This is number 15 Rosewood, and it's definitely not brown, but they were out of brown, like literally all sold out. So I ended up getting this. This isn't dark enough, like it's, normally, obviously I would put in liner before the lipstick, but this isn't showing up at all. Well, in the mirror I see it. It's just, it's still not really doing what I need it to. Skin is peeling. If you see that, it is not, it's not a booger, it's peeled skin. This looks better, but not good enough. At least now people can kind of see that my lips just aren't blending in with my face. Like there is a difference. Oh well, you live and you learn. Gotta get some brown liner, that's all. Right in front of the monument. This space was empty for decades.
Had more opportunities to meet, build relationships, and share information. People often formed close relationships with American Indians and North America, from Dutch New Amsterdam to the British colonies, as well as in French Louisiana and Spanish Florida. With the reliance
Freedom to all enslaved Africans who crossed into British lines.
and profit generated from the sale of
To those of my race who
You know, what made her see this? I hope this is her. Yeah, I just heard.
So before I came here and I was wondering what they would have to eat, I was thinking it better not be anything but soul food, and that's all they have in here.
I didn't see any casket.
I don't want to see none, especially being down on the ground. I like that skirt.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh, whose Granny is that? Is that Granny?
That girl going, no, Murray the medicine trap just like.
The folk album.
Not been into some of the best bathrooms there is. Like that for. I'm surprised.
Hey guys, so I just wanted to come and close out the vlog. I hope the lighting isn't as terrible as it looks, but it probably is. That's a little better. So about the museum, it was great. I've been trying to go for who knows how long. My mom like fake had connections. I ended up getting those tickets. I ended up getting 4 tickets because someone in one of my travel groups, which they do a lot, apparently people reserve a bunch of these tickets and they don't even live in DC. They have no plans to come. And at the last minute, they're like, does anybody need 4 tickets for this date? And she was also like 4 tickets for another date. So I was like, can I have 2 for this day? She gave me all 4, and then there were people at the door who needed tickets. As I was telling the security guard or the scanner, I was telling her I have 2 extra, and so she gave it to some people. But then there were 2 black people who were in front of me, and I didn't realize they didn't have tickets. Like, why are you standing at this door without tickets? And the other security guard was going to give them my tickets, and I was like, can y'all please let them in as well? So it all worked out anyway. But I am so grateful to have gotten those tickets because it's a struggle. Like, I live here and I can't even get into this museum. So I'm so grateful to finally have been able to go. It was very, very educational, so much information. So the person who I went out on a date with last week was like, you're gonna need like 6 hours to go to this, and they had been 3 different times, and they were like, you'll definitely need 6 hours, and that seemed excessive to me, and it's kind of like intimidating. We spent maybe, sheesh, wow, we spent like 2.5 hours there, and it could have been longer, but I don't feel like I missed out on anything. And part of the reason is because no, it's not part of the reason. It only took a couple extra minutes, but once I had done the whole museum, I had realized I didn't get to see the Emmett Till Memorial. I had no clue where to look for it, even though they give you a map. I just assumed that, naturally I would see it. And come to find out, it was down this hall that I purposely kept avoiding because I thought it was like an elevator down there. Turns out that's where his memorial was. And not surprisingly, that was the most touching part for me, and that's actually where I got a little emotional. Like, I'm so surprised I didn't end up like sobbing in there, but I was trying to hold it together like a G. But so they have his casket, and that's, I want to say, one of the only places in that entire museum where there is no photography allowed. I recorded, as you will have seen by now, I recorded it could be a lot. It was a lot of little snippets, but it could have been a lot. Anything that stood out to me or, resonated with me, like even the parts, Chuck Brown's suit and the placards about go-go and stuff like that. Like, if you're not from DC or this area, then you probably don't even know what that is. It's a style of music, and it was born in this region, and I don't think they even play it anywhere else. The closest you get to it is that Jill Scott song where it's like, it's a band. She has a live band, and it's like the drums and the trumpets. I don't even want to sing it. I don't know the name of the song, but I'll put it here, the name of it. But yeah, so that's what go-go kind of sounds like if you never heard of it, if you don't know what it is. So yeah, that area touched me. It's his casket, and nothing gruesome. If you have a weak stomach and you're afraid to see like pictures or something of him when he died, you won't see any. I actually had to go hunt down a picture because I'm like, I agree with his mother and her reasoning for having an open casket for him, and I feel like his picture should be there, huge as I don't know what, the picture of when he was found dead, to remind people of what happened. Like, I'm one of those never forget type people versus let's stop talking about it, or people who are like, I'm tired of seeing slave movies and stuff like that. Like, give them all to me then. Like, I don't care, and I enjoy things like that. I appreciate it. This is like deja vu because I feel like I've either just said this to someone or I've said this on here before. But yeah, so I, would have liked at least a decent sized picture of what he looked like so that everybody walking through there can see. So once I left out, I realized there were these little cards at the beginning, and there was this little tiny picture of his face, and that was it. But other than that, there were pictures of him, I want to say, of throughout his life. Like, I saw baby pictures, the main picture of when they show what he looked like at that age, and then what he looked like when he died. So there were a lot of those pictures. And the part that touched me is after you walk past the casket, which is a beautiful casket, I thought that he would have been buried. So it probably, I don't know if it was a donation or maybe they just had money, but I thought it would have been, like an old school, maybe just a regular wooden casket. And then once he got reburied after they exhumed his body, then that would have been like the fancy casket. But the casket that they have there now it's nice, and it was reupholstered and everything because obviously it had been in the ground for decades and decay and everything. So it looks really nice. I don't know if that's going to evoke emotions for you or what, but you walk past that, and then once you're leaving out, because I don't think people start with that. It's really just a small square. But once you're leaving out, you see the video, and it's like present day interviews. His mother just passed away, but it's very, very recent interviews of his mother, telling kind of what happened that day or how she warned him, like, don't even look a white person in the eye. And who else? I know there was, they would go back and forth with present day and then the old school interviews of like the guy who was like, and then we found his body, and yada, yada, yada. And there were other interviews present day of the same people who found his body, and it was like telling his mom, you know, let me fix it up before you see it. And this wasn't even the part that got me emotional, but it was a whole bunch of little things. But his mom was talking about how when she went to go see him to identify his body, she wanted to start on his face, but she couldn't. And so she decided to like start at his feet and then work her way up his body. And she saw what she saw, and she was like, his eyeball was out of the socket and like midway down his cheek. And if you know the story, or if you've seen the picture, or Google it if you haven't, it's just crazy. And things are literally still happening to Black people. These things are happening kind of every day. Like, people are being brutally murdered. So I don't even know why I'm getting into this, but the little 5-minute video that's on a loop all day in that memorial, it really touched me, and I like started tearing up. And I am so glad I held it together. But there was actually a woman in there who like had to whip out her tissue because she started crying. So that was really touching. There were other things like parts of a slave ship, but it was the one that came from Portugal to Brazil, I think, which would make sense. But I didn't know, and you may see it on one of the placards in this video. I want to say like 5.8 million people, or Africans specifically, were transported on ships from Portugal. Not from Portugal, but Portuguese ships. And that was the biggest number than I saw for any country. Like, they show Great Britain, which I think was like 3 million something. It was like 6 different countries. And I am shocked. How did we never learn this? I am shocked at the number of Portuguese ships that carried Africans from Africa to various countries. So that was very, very, very shocking. So if you're ever in DC, you know, try to get you some tickets, or go stand out front, or see if you can just walk in, because it wasn't as long of a line as I'm used to seeing out there. Usually I'll see the line around the block. So it was really good, even though people still clearly were out there, you know, trying to get tickets. But it was just amazing, and I love the waterfall at the end. So quick recap, it's 3 floors down and then 3 floors up when you come in the main entrance, and you're supposed to start from the lower level and work your way up, because that starts in the 1400s, and then you slowly come up. And what else? When you come up from the lower 3 levels, that starts with slavery, and then it's segregation, and then it's like pop culture, I want to say. I think something to do with culture. And once you leave that, they say go to the contemplative court, and that's where this waterfall is. So it starts out, you can see the waterfall outside, but you don't really know what it is. But when you go in that room, and I recorded it, when you go in that room and just see the water just falling from the ceiling, like, I wouldn't even, technically it's a waterfall because water is falling, but you've never seen anything like that before anywhere. So that was really beautiful. Like, I could just imagine sitting in there and meditating, like just the sound of the falling water. I want to actually start meditating to like nature sounds and stuff, and like that's one of them. But this is already running way too long. What I will say is, it's not like the Natural History Museum or art galleries. Like, art galleries, I love portraits, some abstract art, any paintings, portraits, sculptures. Like, I could go to one of those galleries, the same one, or the Natural History Museum here every weekend and never get bored. But as far as the African American Culture and History Museum, it's kind of a one and done for me. So maybe later, way later this year, next year, you know, I could go again, maybe see things I haven't seen before, or if they have exhibits that they switch out, then I'd give it another shot. But I'm definitely glad I went. Don't regret it. You should go. But it's not one of those things where I feel the need to like keep going to check it out again and again. So wrapping this up, good night, and I'll see you next time.
I get it how I live it. I live it how I get it. Come the motherfucking digits. I pull it with a lemon. Not cause she ain't living. It's just your eyes get acidic. And this ain't a scrimmage. Motherfucker, we ain't finished. I told you we won't stop.